Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. So in this video, what I'm going to be doing is something new. It is 2024 and I've never done a video like this, but I'm going to be moisturizing my hair in real time for you while we do a sit down chit chat. I'm going to be talking about some things that deal with my hair health, my physical health, my mental and emotional health, as well as a little bit of my spiritual health. Some things that I'm planning to do 2024. So with that being said, let's jump right into this video. All right, folks, so the products that I'm going to be using on my hair are, I'm going to use a little bit of a leave-in moisturizer if I need one. My hair has actually been detangled, it's washed and clean and everything. I have the baggie on to keep in some moisture. However, what I really want to do in this video is lock it in with the oil blend and a little bit of the moisture retention mixture. So there are some topics that I really want to talk to you all about as we are in a new year, new phases, new growth, new everything. And I'm excited to be a part of your 2024. I would have done this video a little bit sooner, but I got the flu the first 2 weeks of January. So I'm finally starting to feel better. And I thought, let me do something new. Let me do something different. So this is the hair. What are your 2024 goals with hair, with health, with mental health, with spiritual health, whatever? I would love to hear what are some of the things that you guys are planning for yourselves. And once again, it could be motivation and inspiration for me. So let's just jump in. So the first thing that I want to talk to you all about in 2024 is my hair. I also have some notes on my phone. So if I'm panning this way, it's my phone. That way, it's the mirror. But let's talk about 2023 coming into 2024. So 2023, and I'm pretty sure I've spoken to you all briefly about some of just one or two pumps. I'm just going to use a couple pumps for each section. And I'm just going to lather that in as best as I can. Oh, and for all of you who want to see the edges, you'll get to see them in this video. Technically, I shouldn't be wearing jewelry, so let me just take that off. But yeah, so many of you know that coming into 2024, 2023 was a rough year, to say the least. And so based on sitting down with myself, sorry, just a little bit of the retention mixture. Now this video might be a little choppy and weird because like I said, I've never done anything like this before, but 2023 was kind of a rough year. 2022 was the worst year in my entire life. And sorry, so you're just seeing me put it back in that elastic to just keep it in place. And I'm just going to work section by section. But yeah, so 2022, worst year by far. Didn't even want to be here on this planet anymore. It was terrible. And then 2023, I decided eventually I needed to be checked in to rehab. And so that was hard, to say the least. And I think the hardest part about rehab for myself is the fact that you are with a bunch of strangers talking about things that I've literally repressed. I've literally tried my best to ignore, to escape, to not ever have to deal with some of these issues in this lifetime. And that just didn't pan out for me. So when I am applying the oil, just for a little bit of transparency, is I do like to put a little extra oil on the ends of my hair, just because once again, that is the oldest part, and I want to make sure it is moisturized. I don't technically need to deal with my scalp right now, but when I do go back, maybe in a couple of weeks, I will focus more on my scalp, but my scalp is pretty much okay. So I'm just going to be focused on my hair strands, just making sure to lock in some of that moisture. And just, if you ever feel like there's some little hairs out of place, you could just use a brush. But yeah, so now coming into 2024 from 2023, rehab, like I said, was just torturous in itself because I tend to be, I wouldn't say I'm a private person. I wouldn't say that. But I would say that I pick my words very carefully depending on who I'm talking to. So many of you know, if you've ever done a consultation with me, if you've ever done like a Zoom webinar group or anything like that, you know I get into the nitty gritty and I do share a lot. I think I overshare sometimes when I feel like I'm talking to cool people. But for the most part, when it comes to strangers or just people who I don't know and I have borderline trust issues. It was hard just sharing my life, and it was hard sharing the hard aspects of my life, right? Mistakes I've made or things that have been done to me over the years. And it was just hard in general doing rehab. And I'm happy that in 2024, a lot of issues have been resolved as far as just dealing with some of the past things that I've never really shared, I've never really talked about, some of the more hurtful things that have happened to me in life. I think going to rehab and sharing, talking amongst a group of people. And then once again, having sympathy and empathy because we were all going through different things. But I felt like just getting it off of my chest, just saying what it was really freeing. It was really helpful. And so if that's one thing in 2024, if you need any sort of help mentally, emotionally, dealing with past issues, dealing with current issues, I really would suggest that you talk to somebody. So if you are not able to go to rehab, if you are not able to take, that time and, be in like a kind of like a group setting, then I would definitely speak to counselors. And I've done both. I've spoken to counselors, but I felt like rehab was a little bit more intense, and I really needed more of an intense help, if I could say that. I need more help. And so it was helpful. It was really helpful. It helped me with denial. I think that was one of the biggest things, was really just facing the issues. But yeah, so rehab was great for 2023, coming into 2024. So that is a little bit on the mental health side of things, or the things that I've had to deal with before even coming into 2024. So now when it comes to my hair. So I say all of that to tie it in with my hair, because I was dealing with so much just mentally and emotionally. I was not taking care of my hair. And to be honest with you, 2023 was the first time in many, many years that I used heat probably every single month. And I think from the beginning of my hair growth journey until now, I probably used heat like maybe once or twice a year. And in 2023 alone, I think I used heat January, February, March, April, like every single month. And once again, it was just helpful. To just be able to do my hair quickly and to just move on. So for all of you with edges, here we are. We're at the edge, one side, and I will show you what my edge is looking like here. Now, as far as edges go, my edges have never grown as long or as thick as the rest of my hair. All transparency, this is just genetic, okay? And so many people are curious, Jess, what are your edges looking like? Well, this is my edges kind of slicked back, and I'm going to get a comb, and I'm going to try and give you all a little bit more detail. I don't like playing with them either because they are so fragile and delicate. Even when I would get braids back in the day, and my hairstylist would make fun of me and just treat me so badly, but I'm like, don't put any braids on my edges. And they'd be like, why? That looks weird. And I'm like, because my edges are going to break off. Okay. Okay. Not super thick, not super long, but edges nonetheless. That is one side. Okay, so we leave our edges alone. And actually, this side is kind of dry right in the front, so I'm just going to use a little bit of a leave-in there just to add some moisture back in. But yeah, so this was the worst year. 2023 was the worst year that I think I've ever taken, that I haven't really taken care of my hair. And it was really just because of all of the stress. So when you're super stressed out, you're not taking care of your hair, you're not eating. And when I realized the trend, the downward spiral that I was going down, remember, because I've lost my hair in the past, because I've had alopecia, I know the signs to look out for. I wasn't eating well, I wasn't sleeping well, I wasn't taking care of my hair. And so I told myself in 2024, we are going to restore some of the hair that was lost, damaged, heat damage even. I got a couple of grays because of stress and probably just not eating properly and taking care of myself. So that was stressful in itself. And maybe when we get around here, you'll be able to see them. But I got grays and I was shocked. But let that be advice to you, that if you're not eating properly, if you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not taking care of your hair, then things like that will happen. You are going to see just your hair not flourish. You are going to see things that you probably don't want to see, like grays or breakage or thinning. Many of you saw from the video that I put up where I had to trim my hair. A lot of you saw that my hair was just not flourishing. It wasn't doing great. A lot of it had to get cut off. And more probably still needs to get cut. And I'm going to be leaving that to a professional. You will all be coming along with me on the journey when I decide to do it. But as far as natural hairstylists in my area, they don't exist. Probably the closest one to me is about 3 hours away. And so I'm really waiting for the opportune time to go, but it's just not easy when you have so many things that you do have to do. But that is on my list of things to do 2023, is I do want to go to a natural hairstylist, and I do want them to give me the proper cut, the proper trim that I need. Okay, so the front needs a little bit of added moisture, so I'm also going to do that. Okay, so once again, this is just to add in some moisture on clean hair already, and I'm not focused on my scalp today. Okay, so there you go. Now, hair health. Like I said, as you guys saw in that video where I did have to trim my hair, you could see that it just wasn't flourishing. And some people did have comments. But once again, sometimes the comments can be a little bit harsh. I know that these are probably not my followers and the people that have been supporting me, but it's always hard talking about my hair, my personal hair growth journey, because I feel like there's a lot more criticism than probably an average person. Obviously, I do talk about hair. I am a trichologist, but in real life, people, if you're not eating properly, if you're super stressed out, if you're not taking care of yourself, if you're depressed, then once again, you are going to see negative reactions in your hair, your skin, and your nails. And from the previous video, if you guys haven't seen it, I did show a little clip where I actually got a lot of adult acne. And once again, these are all things. So I'm just going to comb the front just a little bit. But these are all things, once again, that I try to talk to all of you about. Remember, I've reached my hair growth goals, and so I'm kind of fine. Like, even if I cut my hair up to my ear, I'm happy with the fact that I don't have bald spots. However, once again, if you're not well and you're not taking care of your hair, if you're not taking care of your body, there will be consequences. There will be hair loss or thinning or breakage, damage. If you are using heat on a regular, consistent basis, you are also going to see, oh, I don't have, oh. Anyways, you're also going to see inconsistencies with your hair. So that is one of my goals for 2024. I am definitely going to be focused on my hair health. Again, let me take off the earring. So how am I going to be taking care of my hair health? There are a few things. Oh, there's a elastic. Sorry. What I'm going to be doing to take care of my hair health is I am not using heat all year. So no matter what the project is, no matter how much enticement it would be for me to straighten my hair, I'm not going to do that in 2024. So no heat this year, which is going to be interesting considering I use heat every month last year. But for somebody who used heat, I mean, it's still, it's still growing. It's getting longer. I never really had too much of an issue with the length once the alopecia started growing back. My hair would grow, but it's always been the density and the thickness of my hair. So once again, if I'm stressed out, I will see that in my hair. So that's one thing. I'm not going to be using heat this year. So we're in January, so I will be keeping you posted and accountable on if, I'm able to do that all year round. But for now, that is my goal. I'm also going to go back to doing massaging my scalp. And the reason being is because I felt like with all of the stress and not taking care of myself and losing hair, once again, that fullness and that thickness. I mean, most people will see my hair and be like, oh, it's super thick. However, based on me and the fact that I do know my hair and it's come such a long way, I definitely know that there's more work that needs to be done as far as the thickness and the fullness. So lengthwise, it's growing. Like I said, I've cut my hair even, and it still keeps growing. But I want to get back to that fullness and that thickness. So scalp massages on a weekly basis. So whether I'm doing it 2 or 3 times a week, whatever it is, every day, I'll build back to that because it's been a while since I've done daily scalp massages. But it is something that I plan on putting back in the regimen. And besides that, just once again, continuing to wash with the shampoo that I've been using all these years. The shampoo's been fine. But then once again, getting to this moisture step, this step I skipped probably half the year. So I would literally wash my hair, put it in Bantu knots, and just not even moisturize it, just because I just didn't have the energy and I just didn't care about my hair that much. I'm just being transparent. Please don't judge me. But when it comes to your hair for 2024, what are some of the things that you want to do to get your hair growing and flourishing? And it doesn't matter if it's alopecia, it doesn't matter if it's just short and you want length. What are your hair goals for 2024? I would love to know. So those are mine. Now when it comes to my physical health, my physical goals,